Welcome to the Blender Goon. In this video, we are going to take our model that we unwrapped in the last video and go ahead and do some baking and finish it up and get her put in Second Life. We're going to do PBR baking for Second Life as opposed to the blend thong that we have. So this experience for you guys to get started with. There's a lot to it, but we'll work through it. So let's get started. What I like to do when I'm baking is join everything together. We'll have to separate it later to add some solidifies and things to it that we need and mirror the wheels. But I like to join everything together. So go ahead and box select it all and hit Control J to join it all together. Once you've done that, we can go ahead and jump into the shading tab. And over on the left side, we have our file folder. I'm going to change this to the properties. So if you hit the drop down over here above file browser, we can go to properties. That way I can change materials. And then I don't know what this will start on, probably the tools or something. But if you scroll down, you can go to materials properties and just click that. As I said, we're going to be baking PBR materials. We don't want to have any metallic on our object when we bake our materials. Or our textures rather. So the first material is the handle there. So I'm just going to take the metallic and turn it to 0. The wagon is also going to be 0 for now. Um, the tire doesn't have any metallic on it. The button does not. And the hub does not. So we're good with all of those. We just got to remember that the handle and the wagon will probably put some metallic on when we're done. I actually want to see what the wagon looks like when metallic, so let's crank that up and turn the roughness down a little bit to give it a more shiny look. And I'm going to right click and shade auto smooth on this thing. Better look. That's looking okay. So I got the roughness where I want. Now I can turn that metallic back off. So to bake, we need a image texture to bake to. So if you hit Shift A, you can go to texture and image texture. And if you right click on it, you can add it to quick favorites. Mine says remove, but you can add it to quick favorites. And then you can mouse off of there. And if you hit Q, it'll be right there for you. You just click it and drop it. So we need to, this is the image we're going to be baking to. All our unwrap will go onto here as a flat bake, and then it will texture our object. So we need a new one. We're going to call it wagon diffuse. And make sure you spell this stuff right, because if you don't, the later step will not work. So diffuse, and we'll uncheck alpha and click new image. And when I clicked it, it turned black over here, which is fine. sRGB is the color space we need for our diffuse map. So now we need to copy this to every other material. So copy. Objects in Second Life can only have 8 materials maximum. So if you need multiple materials, you'll have to do some double baking kind of thing. But right now we only have 5. If we had 3 more, we'd be okay. But 1 more, then Second Life will start tearing your model apart as you bring it in world, and then that'll break your physics, and it'll just make things weird. And yeah, so no more than 8 materials. So we'll go to our handle and we'll paste this in there. And I like to click on it to select it. The wagon already has it. I'll click it again. The tire, we need to paste it in and click it. Button, paste it in and click it. And hub, paste it in and click it. Now we can go over here to our materials. Well, no, I'm sorry. Our rendering. And I like to render. So if you haven't set this up before, you need GPU compute and cycles. So it starts out in Eevee. So if it's in Eevee, change it to cycles, and then change it to GPU compute, and then come down here. And this part doesn't matter much. This is the viewport, but the render does. So I render at about 300 samples. So if it's 2048 or 1024, go to change it to 300. And then the denoise, I make sure it's off because Blender has an NVIDIA glitch that will cause everywhere we made those red lines, it'll make it look like it's sewed together with stitches. So you want to turn denoids off for Blender. You have an NVIDIA graphics card. Then down here on the bake window, we're going to change this combined. Well, actually, before we do that, let's turn the lighting off so direct and indirect lighting can be turned off. And then we'll change combined to diffuse. And now, as long as you have the model selected and all your orange nodes are selected, I don't need to go through here to check these again, but you can just to make sure. We should be able to hit the old bake button and it will spit us out an image. So there's our image. So we got our red for our wagon and our red for our little button, the white for the hub and the black for the handle and the grip. And that looks great. So we will go to the three little hamburger thing here. They call this a hamburger. If you click it, you'll see image has an asterisk beside it. That means you have an unsaved image, and it's the one we're looking at. So we can go up here to save as, put it in there. This is refuse. We don't have to do anything over here. Save it. Now we can change this wagon diffuse color space from sRGB to non-color. And that will change all the nodes and all the things. See them, they all just updated. And we can change our diffuse to ambient occlusion will be our first non-color bake. Just change it and click bake. That pops that image out. Control space if you want to take a closer look at it. Looks okay. And we will image save as. This we will just change to AO and save it. And then we can go back to the occlusion and we'll change it to normal and bake it. And we'll go to our hamburger image save as at normal. One more time with roughness. Bake it. Save as. That one roughness. And then the last one is emit. And for our emit, we will go back to our handle and to our green node here. And we're going to open up emission and just set the strength to 1. And we will do the same with the wagon material. So emission and just set it to 1. Selected. Good. Good. Now we can bake our emit. And we are going to change that metallic. And save it. And last saved 8 minutes ago, don't forget to save Control S. That was our last material we had to bake. So now I'm going to jump back into layout. And I like to make a copy of this and save it into a different collection. That way, if I need to fix something, I can, because I'm about to do a bunch of deleting stuff. So if you hit Shift D and make a copy of it, you can right click and just drop it back where it's at and hit M and name it new collection, or click new collection and name it original and create. And then go ahead and up here where it says original, we'll just hide all that stuff. So now we have this model. Now that we have our copy, I'm going to go straight to the materials and I'm going to set up our materials first. So I'm just going to remove all of these. We don't need any of them. So just minus till they're all gone. This red color is from our base orientation, so it's fine. We can now hop into shading, click new, and on this principled BSDF, we're going to hit Control Shift T, and we will find our file that we saved our bakes in, and we'll just select all of them and do the principled texture setup and Node Wrangler puts everything together for us. The next thing we need is our GLTF node. You can do a Shift A and search and just type in GLTF. If this doesn't come up, you need to go up here to Edit, Preferences, and search for GLTF. And hit the drop down. And down here where it says Shader Editor, go ahead and turn it on. Now we can do a Shift A search GLTF, and it'll give us a node. And we'll take that little node and put it up here. And we will plug our ambient occlusion color into the occlusion, which is the top dot. And that is your material setup. Now, if we control space, our wagon is textured again with our GLTF material, which is the PBR material for Second Life. Now, I want to separate all these parts and add some modifiers so we get our wagon looking right again and move this handle down. So go to Layout, and we're going to go into Edit mode of our wagon, hit A to select everything, P, and by loose parts, and that'll separate everything out in its own parts. And so our wheel needs our modifier, which is the wrench. And we're going to do add modifier, generate mirror, and that'll put our wheels back on. And then the y-axis also. If you want to move these wheels, you can, but we'll move them after we apply this. So actually, we can apply it now. So if you got to apply all, you can click that, or you can hit the little drop down and hit apply, and we'll apply this also. And then if we want to move our wheels, we can go into edit mode, do an Alt-Z, box select them, Alt-Z back out of it, and then just move those on the x-axis forward. That looks better. For our wagon, we can add another solidify. So add modifier, generate. Sorry, not another solidify, but initial solidify here. And we can check that out. That looks okay. It's poking through a little bit, but I'm okay with that. Just make sure the thickness of your wagon is what you want. And I like it the way it is, so I'm just going to apply that. Our wheels are poking through. We can move those. Probably shouldn't have applied the modifier, but that's okay. We can go to edit mode, Alt-Z, box select it, Alt-Z again, move those on the X. Nope, Y. Move those on the Y. Just pop them out a little bit. Same with this side, Alt-Z, box select, GY, and pop them out of here. We applied that. That's good. Now we have the rod here, and it's red here because of our face orientation again. So that's why we need to add solidify to it. So solidify. That got awful thick, so we can back that thickness off. Probably about there is good. And apply it. And this guy's fine the way it is. Now we can grab our whole wagon and join it together. Control J. Our wagon's pretty much done. We need to check the size of it and rename it, and maybe rename the material also. So I'm going to start with renaming the wagon. So we'll do up here and just call it wagon. And then hit the little drop down for it and rename this cylinder to wagon also. And if you have any modifiers, go ahead and apply those. So I just happen to be on the wrench. So apply your modifiers. That way there's no modifiers. Next, I want to rename the material. So I'll select my little circle down here. And materials name material, so we'll just name it wagon. PBR if you want. Good. Now hit in, and we need to check the size of it. So it's 1.14 meters on the X, which is probably fine. I think it'll be okay like that. All these are good. If they're not, you need to do a Control A, all transforms, and that'll even everything out. And then we can go ahead and export our wagon. So File, Export, Collada DAE. Go over here to the operator presets, and we're going to do SL OpenSim static. And we can uncheck this copy, it's fine. And I'm going to put this in that wagon bake folder. First model DAE, we can name it to wagon. Uh, yeah, just wagon. And export collada. And then one more time to file, export GOTF. And we'll put that also in that wagon bake folder. We can name this to wagon also and export it. Now we can save this and close it and jump into Second Life. We're going to go to build, upload, mesh model. Where'd you go, wagon? Wagon bakes, and we'll do the wagon DAE. There's our wagon. I turn the bottom one to 0. These are our load models. So this is what it looks like as you back away from things. So the high model looks like our model because that's what it is. The medium model doesn't look horrible. You can hold control also and look at it a little better. The low model is very, very bad, so we will just turn that up until it looks good. Probably fine. Don't go above the number that's below it. You know what? We'll just change this one to use above. That'll be fine. This one's 0. Physics model, we'll just put a cube on it for now. And it's named wagon because we named our object data properties wagon. Calculate weights and fees, and it's a prim and a half. It's okay. And then we can res our little wagon out. And then we need to build, upload material, and that'll be our wagon GLB. Wagon PBR is fine, since that's what we named it. And click OK. And there's your PBR material, and save. And then hop over to recents, and materials and textures, open both. So as Second Life is still using the Bling Fong textures, we're going to go ahead and edit this wagon, go to textures, and go to Blend Fong, and we're going to drop our diffuse on there. So the base color, just drop it right on there in a diffuse. And that'll texture our wagon for people who can't see PBR yet. And we also have the normal, so if you want to drop that on the normal, we can do that also. Then we'll go to PBR, and we will drop our wagon right on there. And that's what she looks like. So I did not move my handle down, and you guys can edit this thing however you want. So that's it for the wagon itself, but we're going to do a quick little adjustment of the wagon in here, and everything gets exported the same way. You'll have to export it all again, not the materials, but the wagon itself. So if I go to the wagon, we can take and go into edit mode and hit L on the handle. Actually, make sure you don't have nothing selected. L on the handle, L on the little end of the handle, and then 1 on the number pad. I don't know why I'm backwards, so I'm gonna hit 9 on the number pad to flip it around. And you can rotate this handle and kind of place it wherever you want to place it. It's all baked and done and ready to go. Just make sure you're not poking through the inside. So GX a little bit. Down some more, which is Z. And then same with the size of it. Like if you don't like the size of it, you can go to the top view and maybe do an Alt Z and select this stuff and give your wagon a little better shape and a little better, you know, thing. And then you just have to export the model again and put it in Second Life and do the exact same thing we did. So that's it for this video. I hope you liked it. If you did, like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week with something new.